A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting the panel discussion, and we have four eminent personalities to share their experience and knowledge. Dr. Asha Krishnaswamy, our first panelist for today's panel discussion, is a PhD in Communication and Journalism from University of Mysore. She has a master's in Journalism and Communication from Manipal Sikkim University and a certificate course in Investigative Journalism, BBC. Her profile conveys the scope of positions she has engaged in her profession. She was a special correspondent heading Political Reporting Section in Deccan Herald Daily, Bengaluru. Dr. Asha Krishnaswamy, as a short stint, was a Publicity and Information Officer at All India Institute of Speech and Hearing, Mysore. A casual English announcer at All India Radio, Bengaluru. She also has a personal blog and has worked as a chief reporter for nearly 15 years, covering political and city section. She has authored more than 500 special reports to Deccan Herald. We, the PHILOMENA'S and the August Gathering, acknowledge your presence and extend a hearty welcome. Looking forward to your interesting perspective on social media and digital content creation.
Give me a second because
No problem. Thank you, ma'am. Our second panelist today is Mr. Naveen Kumar HM. He is a young entrepreneur and a native of Hunsur, Mysore. He has completed his MBA and is presently working with Oracle as a project manager with 15+ years of experience in investment research, analytics, and project management. Mr. Naveen Kumar HM has won the Best Entrepreneur 2022 awarded from ICAR, National Research Center for Banana. Superstar Rita from Vijay Karnataka, Vana Totagarike Award from Red Horticulture Officials. His greatest achievement was innovating waste to wealth from banana, creating value addition and retail store on wheel, indicating his forthsightedness as a new generation entrepreneur, underlying intention to make agriculture, horticulture a profitable venture. He is closely working with Central Food Technology Research Institute, CFTRI Mysore, and National Research Center, Banana, NRCB, for technology transfer and test marking of his new product, line products in Abhay Natural Food Processing Unit with Shuddha Ahara as its brand name and Bakahu, its trademark for banana value-added products. A hearty welcome, sir. Waiting to tune in to your expertise on organic farming and sustainability. He's coming, Dr. Javeed Nayeem. Our third panelist for today's panel discussion is Dr. K. Javeed Nayeem, a renowned physician and a strong supporter of human well-being. He is also a philanthropist. He was born in Mysore city and graduated in BSc and did his MBBS from MR Medical College, Gulbarga in 1981. He was declared the best outgoing student. Dr. Javeed Nayeem did his MD in medicine from Mysore Medical College in 1985. He started his career as an assistant professor of medicine for 3 years at JSS Medical College and later served as the chief physician at Holy Cross Hospital, Kamagere, Kollegal Taluk for 6 years. His multi-talent includes profile of being a columnist in the Star of Mysore, publishing for the last 17 years. His interests are nature, photography, drawing and painting, target shooting, stamp and coin collection, defining his multifaceted talent. He is the president of the esteemed MAHAN, the Mysore Association of Hospitals, Nursing Homes, Clinics and Diagnostic Centers. A very warm welcome, sir. It's great to have you today as a panelist and share your views on overview on dimensions of wellness. The last but not the least, our chairperson for today's afternoon panel discussion is Bharti Ganesham. She is a development journalist and has covered on health, gender, environment, waste management, etc. Mrs. Bharti Ganesham has covered and reported international conferences like the ICAAP in Sri Lanka, AIDS 2008 and AIDS 2010 in Mexico City and Vienna respectively. Her work has been published in The Lancet, The Hindu Business Line, Deccan Herald and others. She has won the EU Indian Media Award 2006 and the WHO Stop TB Award for Excellence in Writing on TB. She has served as a full-time position as the Director of Communication, Akshaya Patra Foundation, and is presently a consultant for a Bangalore-based consultancy firm on a vaccine-related project. She has just published her first period fiction novel, Rajamal. Mrs. Bharti Ganesham is the granddaughter of Dr. M.V. Gopal Swamy, the founder of Akashvani. Her father is an alumni of St. Philomena's College. A cordial welcome to you, ma'am, and looking forward to the direction and clarity you will bring to this panel discussion. Thank you. Have a wonderful panel discussion session.
Namaste. My very warm greetings to all of you who are assembled here. Coming to St. Philomena's campus is always like coming home for me. This has been one of my homes since the year 1970, when I joined this college as a first PUC student. Although I have finished my studies long ago, I still continue to study here. And I feel very proud that I always have such a warm acceptance from everybody who has got anything to do with St. Philomena's College. Today I am expected to speak to you about an overview of the wellness. Wellness can be of many kinds. Because I am a doctor, I'll start first with medical wellness. Medical well-being is both physical and psychological or emotional well-being. There are many other kinds of well-being also. Environmental well-being, social well-being, economic well-being, spiritual well-being, professional well-being, and the list goes on and on. Everywhere, unless we create a sense of well-being, we will not get along well with our society. Society cannot be made up of turbulent individuals. We cannot have turbulence in our mind and expect the society we live in to be very calm and peaceful and productive. It's just not possible. Unless all of us start with a sense of well-being in our own lives, we cannot do anything in this world. I will not be speaking about the different types of well-being. I think one speaker tomorrow is going to deal with another kind of well-being. I am going to restrict my talk today because my time is limited to wellness of the body and the wellness of the mind. Wellness of the body starts with an understanding of how our body is made, how it functions, what happens when it goes sick, and how we should bring it back on track. Wellness or health is not just the absence of disease. See, you cannot say that a person is hale and healthy just because his body has no disease. There may be so many undiagnosed diseases inside, which we are not aware of. But just the absence of disease cannot be defined as a state of health. So, a sense of wellness, a perception of wellness comes only with many other additions to this. What they are, I am going to tell you. We will start with how to approach our bodies to keep them healthy. As I said, first of all, we should know how our bodies are made. We should gain a very, very basic elementary knowledge about what the main organs are in our body and what they do, and what are the main diseases that can afflict our bodies. That is the main thing that we should understand. Secondly, we should understand how the body functions. And after we understand how the body functions, we should understand what makes things go wrong with our bodies. And here we should be concerned about the kind of life we lead, because that is going to have a direct impact on our well-being. We should learn to treat our body with a lot of respect and care, because our body is like a vehicle in which we are undertaking this journey of life. It is exactly like a car in which you travel from one place to another, and for this car to take you safely, securely, and comfortably to your destination, we should ensure that we travel in a car that is in very fit condition. If you are in a car with an unsound condition, you cannot expect to take a very long journey from here to Bangalore or any place beyond, because things can go wrong in the middle of the road and you may end up being stranded. That is what you should not allow to happen to your bodies. You should see that your bodies are maintained in a fit condition, in the peak of health, though not in a perfect state. To do this, you must understand how much you should eat, what kinds of foods you should eat, what habits you should inculcate, what things you should avoid. See, understanding what food does to our body and the role played by the different types of food in our body, and what are the harmful foods that we should avoid, is a very important first step in understanding how we should keep our bodies in good shape. We should all see that we don't drink at all, or drink only in a moderate, responsible way. We should see that we don't smoke at all. See, I am saying that we should be non-drinkers or responsible drinkers, but I am saying that we should be non-smokers, because smoking in the long run is more harmful than any alcohol. And even if you drink for a social sense of well-being once a week or so, you should drink in moderation and without becoming addicted to what you are drinking. And you should never pick up the habit of smoking. And if you have picked up the habit of smoking somewhere, you should see that you refrain from it immediately. There's no question of quitting smoking slowly. See, a person was there who was a very heavy smoker, and everybody was telling him this smoking is very harmful, you should not smoke. That man said, "Yes, I know these cigarettes are very bad. That is why I am burning them." So, smoking is something very harmful. You should give it up completely. Drinking should be done only in moderation. Foods that you eat should also be taken in moderate quantities so that they do not harm your body instead of benefiting it. There are some kinds of foods which you should refrain from, and they are the foods which are highly processed. In today's environment, a large percentage of the foods that all of us take or are forced to take are highly processed, and this is not something that is very good for our well-being. So, understanding what our foods contain, understanding whether they are harmful or helpful, is a very important part of our wellness program. We should completely refrain from any sort of experimentation, let alone addiction to drugs. Any experimentation with drugs also should not be undertaken just out of curiosity, because that curiosity soon becomes a necessity. Drugs have that capability. So, we should learn to take things in moderation. We should learn to live an active lifestyle. Everybody should inculcate a very, very active schedule of exercise and fitness in our lives. Because unless our bodies remain active, they cannot remain very healthy. Only an active body is a healthy body. An inactive body can remain healthy only for a very short duration of time, and it cannot be expected to serve a happy time in our lifetimes. It's not possible. So, everything in moderation, refraining from all kinds of addictions, refraining from the intake of highly processed foods with plenty of additives, and eating in moderation, exercising and keeping our body fit will all form a part of the physical wellness of our bodies. As important as physical wellness is to our bodies, we need to have a wellness of our minds also. Because a healthy body with a sick mind inside it is a great tragedy. What is the use if a man is very hale and healthy and strong and robust physically, when his mind is not equally fit and equally at peace with this world? This is something that we should focus on, our emotional well-being. Our emotional well-being is very much a part of our physical well-being, and these two separate qualities cannot be separated from each other, and they should always coexist happily and in a healthy manner. We should learn to understand our limitations first and then try to exceed them. Without understanding what your limitations are, you cannot just begin to exceed them. You must first know your weaknesses to achieve your strengths. And here, whatever cannot be changed should be accepted happily without a sense of anguish. If you cannot be very, very talented in one particular field, supposing you cannot learn music very admirably, you accept this and start focusing on other abilities, other hobbies, and other talents so that you have a sense of achievement which brings well-being. And when it comes to talking of talents and hobbies, every one of you should have at least one hobby. Please raise your hands, all those who have some hobbies. Yes. See, compared to the, thank you very much, but compared to the number of people sitting in this hall, the number of hands that were raised was very, very low. Yes or no? Yes. That is why all those who did not raise their hands today, my plea, my request to them is to go back home today and think of picking up at least one hobby. I am not saying this with a sense of pride, but my wife always says, one should not be married to a man with so many interests. I tell her always, you be thankful that my most important interest is you. So all of you try to go back home and decide to pick up one habit, one hobby, and stick to it and cultivate it, nourish it and encourage it, and make sure that it becomes one of your strengths. Because a good hobby leaves you with a very good sense of well-being. And in addition to this, the most important thing I am telling you today, the most important thing is to be very, very forgiving in life. Don't hold grudges. Grudges, they burn your insides. They burn your heart. They make you weak. So don't walk around, don't live with your grudges. Leave your grudges behind. If you always face the sun, the dark shadows will always fall behind you. You don't turn away from the sun and look at your shadow and feel bad about it. Always be very, very forgiving. Those who are not of a forgiving nature, those who are inherently prone to holding grudges inside, You take my advice. From tomorrow morning, you start your day with a prayer that I will not hold any jealousy, any grudge, any anguish against anybody. You see how wonderful that day will turn out. At the end of the day, although you reflect back and feel that you have lost something by not being vengeful, by not being angry, you will end up having a very sound sleep because you feel you are a little better than the other human beings. That sense of being better is what brings you peace of mind and good sleep. So you should stop being vengeful, angry, and unhappy. And the most important, one more thing is, always try to be helpful. Every day, I always begin my day with a feeling that I should meet somebody today whom I can help a little. This helping somebody need not be a very big help. You need not give him money. You need not give away something that you possess. Helping somebody is being very charitable in whatever you do that day. Be a little extra kind. I am a doctor, I am working. I be a little kind to my nurse. I say thank you for even a very small thing. If she picks up a bit of paper for me, I say thank you. The lift man, he always stands at the lift. It's his job to press the button, ask you which floor you want to go to and do it. You thank him for it. He's doing his duty, no doubt. But you do something beyond your duty by being a little thankful to that person. That person will go back home and feel. A very important doctor, the head of this hospital, also thanked me today. It's such a nice thing. These are the small things that make others' lives happy. And in the process, as an accumulation of this, you will find that your lives also become more enriched. So be helpful, be happy, be acceptful of other people's faults. Don't expect everything and everybody around you to be perfect. Perfection is an enemy of the good, in fact. It's not possible. So accept all the imperfections, and they are all human qualities which are inevitable, and you will also be left with a wonderful sense of well-being. With this talk of mine, I'll now get back to my seat and leave the forum open for any kind of discussion. If you have got any questions, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. I hope you have gained a little bit from what I have said. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a very enlightening talk that we had from Doctor. So I just want to find out whether anybody in the audience would like to ask anything before I say something. Does anybody want to, because you are all the Generation X, you know, you're the coming generation. And whatever he said, everything was making so much sense for all of you who are just starting out in life. Any questions from you? No? That means anybody? Everybody is living a perfect life. You have no problems doing everything that doctor said. Eat well, don't smoke, don't drink, do everything correctly. Everybody is having a good time doing that? Yeah? Okay, I'm happy. But I have a problem, so I'm going to ask him. Shall I? I'm going to challenge some of the things he said. There is a question? Yes, please, please.
Hello, sir. Thank you for your enlightening thoughts about medical field and well-being. My question is, I'm doing a research on internet addiction, which is one of the recent addictions to already existing addictions that are already there in the world. So we talked about mind and body. Now, there are a lot of questions that are running in my mind. Now, you being a very experienced doctor, to the modern generation that are being so obsessed with so-called innumerable number of hours being spent on internet. So this is a more trendy thing that has been, crapped into the minds of every people. Now, when you talked about mind and spirit, now you also said about towards the end, you gave some of the tips like forgiving others, being not to have the resentment heart and everything. Now, very often we confuse with psychological wound and a spiritual solution, and spiritual solution to a psychological wound. So where do you strike a balance between these two things when we actually encountering the existential problems like addictions and things which are related to internet world? So just to strike a balance between, to give your experiential answer.
That's a very nice question, very relevant to the present times. Thank you very much. See, countering the internet addiction is not easy. Why is it not easy? Because the internet is so easily available to us now. It is at our fingertips literally. Everyone who is here, unless he or she has been forbidden by the college to bring a cell phone here, will have a cell phone. And every few moments, everybody is now programmed to look into the cell phone. The moment somebody comes out of a meeting, the moment somebody comes out of a place of worship like a church or a temple or a mosque, the first thing you see is the person taking out the cell phone, looking at it. The way people do it after coming out of places of worship is as if they are about to receive an OTP from God about the acceptance of their prayer inside the place of worship. They are so addicted to it. This addiction is not easy to cure because of the fascination that the internet holds for you. It tells you so many things. It shows you so many things, some good and some bad, some which you are supposed to see and some which you are not supposed to see and still which you continue to see. And doing other things is not as easy as being addicted to the internet. But you should all try as youngsters very hard to shift your addiction from the internet to other things like reading. Reading, for instance, is a very rewarding and a very relaxing experience. And if you can shift your focus from the internet to physical books, I'm sure you'll all benefit a lot. Firstly, you will be away from the screen. Your off-screen time will increase because it's the screen time which is bad for our eyes, minds, and hearts. And in addition to that, you will find that the books are more relaxing, more and less demanding. And in reading a book, you don't have to show anyone what you are reading, what you have liked in your reading, and what the others should read. So you don't preach and you don't show what you are reading. So that way, reading should take at least a part of your time. And if you make sure that you do this regularly, in just a couple of months, I'm sure all of you will be addicted to reading as much as you are addicted to the internet. And when your free time is shared 50% by books and 50% by internet, then you will find that half of the internet activity has come down. And I think all of you should try to do this. It will not come automatically. It takes a great deal of effort. You must do it, and I'm sure you'll all succeed. Whatever happens, I try to make sure that my internet time is only 10% of my free time, which I utilize for other hobbies and for reading in a large part. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, for that. Does anyone else have any questions? Anyone? Okay, so I would like to pose a few questions. So while I resonate with everything that you said, which is required to lead a life of wellness. You said don't drink or drink in moderation, don't smoke at all, and then, eat well, sleep well. All of these things make for an ideal life, and I agree completely. But in a world where these youngsters are living, it's considered cool to do all the things that you said one cannot do. And I don't know how much they're able to resist these pressures, how much they're able to actually, heed the body, what the body needs or what the body does not need, and do it. So is there some kind of a middle path that can be followed responsibly? You did say drink responsibly, but that's a kind of a wide term. But is there something that, can be still done? Because I know that you might end up becoming unpopular if you don't do all this. And it's very difficult to live in a world where you're not accepted. Very difficult. So this is a dilemma. I think it's been there down the generations, maybe in your generation as well, when as a woman, I have not faced so much of peer pressure, but boys particularly, I don't know, today girls are also facing peer pressure. So how does one resist it and still make sure that you enjoy wellness? I'll come to mental wellness.
See, the key factor here, the most important secret here is acceptance. What is this acceptance I'm talking about? Acceptance of the reality in this world. We should accept that we are born to be different from the others. Every human being is not sent here with a mission to do exactly what the others are doing. There's no pressure. Society does not demand it at all. If I choose to wear just white, it is my preference. Nobody is going to ask you about it. If you choose to wear a sari every day instead of some other kind of dress, it is your choice. Nobody is going to come and question it. But what puts pressure on us is to be like what the others are. That is something we have to stop. If you are happy with your own style, with your own looks, with your own way of doing things, feel proud of it. See, you need not always feel guilty that your way of doing something is wrong compared to what the rest of the world is doing. No, the world is not putting any pressure on you. You are creating that pressure from inside your own mind to be like the rest of the world. We should stop doing it. We should start accepting things. This acceptance is what is going to take away the pressure from us. If your friends say, why don't you dress like this? Why don't you wear jewelry like this? Why don't you go to movies like this? You tell them, no, that is not my way. I am happy with what I am doing. That acceptance of your style, of your way of life is very important. You give importance to that. Don't be driven by the external forces of tradition and what the rest of the world is doing. You should not. And only then you can feel comfortable with whatever you have and with whatever you are doing. If you go on following the others, you will very soon find that you are frustrated because you are forced to do something that you don't like and you are forced to leave something that you like. A very unpleasant situation. Avoid it.
Thank you. And so, what you said requires a person to be an individual, be very sure of themselves, and it requires a whole lot of maturity. And I think that is where we should all be concentrating, that am I mature enough to resist all the pressures that are being thrown at me? And those pressures will never end. Whether you're working, whether you're a father, you're a grandfather, whatever it is, there will always be pressure. So I think for the sake of wellness, all of us can actually strive towards this. And sir, you also talked about, when you were talking about mental well-being, you said, stop being vengeful, don't be unkind, don't harbor unkind thoughts towards others. I just want to flip that and look at myself as a victim. What if I'm at the receiving end of all of this? And that is leading to a sense of not being well mentally. It's very difficult. It's a problem that a lot of youngsters are facing today, online as well as offline. Yeah, truly, so many things.
Very, very respectfully, I would like to remind you, madam, that you have forgotten the first part of my talk. I said start your day with forgiveness. So if you start with day with forgiveness, and if you start disregarding the way the world treats you, you will very soon find that your mind is as calm as the mind of a very, very seasoned sage. If you don't, see, these days I don't go around the wards and treat patients who are sick. My job is more supervisory. If I have to admit a patient, I admit it, and some of my friends or my assistants, they look after. The fallout is not on me. But there was a time when I was a much younger doctor, when patients' relatives, not the patients' relatives used to treat me like rubbish. They used to come and tell me, why are you not allowing 4 people into the ward? What is wrong with you? What will happen? We are paying money for this ward. You allow us inside. Then they would say, you are a useless doctor. You predicted the diagnosis wrong. You said my daughter would get well in 3 days. It is 6 days already. She is not showing signs of progress. They talk to you very vengefully, and yet I have never reacted. Anybody, you go to Mysore, the whole of Mysore, and ask, have you seen Dr. Javeed Nayeem angry, enraged at any time? I am sure not a single person in the city who knows me very well, in all the schools, colleges where I have studied, in all the places where I have taught, in all the hospitals where I have worked, telling you, oh, I saw him very angry once, oh, he was such a terror. No, because I made up my mind, probably maturity came to me much earlier, I made up my mind that I will take all this in my stride. Why? Because patients, people are very anguished people. They are people who are not in their pleasantest form of mind. They are hurt. They are very, very stressed because of the situation they are in. And so they can talk nonsense sometimes. Tolerate it. Forgive it. Start everything with a forgiving attitude. Even if somebody has hurt you very badly by saying something very, very unholy or dirty about you, you forgive them exactly as a sage or a saint does. And I'm sure your mind will be at peace. This forgiveness, you should start with forgiveness. You can handle most of the other problems.
Thank you very much. Also, I think forgiveness also, like you said rightly, comes with the absence of anger. When you don't have anger, you become a very powerful person. That's one thing that I've seen, that the people who don't get angry are actually very powerful people. Thank you, sir. Your session was very enlightening. And if there are no more questions, we can go to the next speaker. Anybody wants to ask doctor anything? Because I don't think you'll get this chance every day.
Mind you, if you want to ask me questions, this is the best place, because here I answer them free of cost. If you ask me questions anywhere else, you'll have to pay for it.
Of course, don't ask him that you have stomach pain or headache or something like that, but something else. Thank you very much for your patience. And so I request your class.
ಹಲೋ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. ಹಲೋ ಅಂತನಾರು ಹೇಳಿ, ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇನ್ರಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಚ್ಚರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹಿಯರ್? ರೇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. Okay, my tribe. The topic given to me is this. It has got nothing to do with directly with health. This is civic engagement and governance. As we are all citizens, we all have responsibility. As I move forward, then you will see how. Before I go ahead, I just want to ask you, whoever has organized this program, how much stakes or say the students had in choosing the topic? Interact. Tell me, any one of you expressed your views? What subjects you want to listen to? Ilva? Enu ilva? What work, Devi? Nobody talks here. So much scared of teachers, sir. So let me give you a brief, what is governance? Why do we have to listen to this, or why do we have to apply our mind, or why should we spare a thought about governance? Because we are all affected by governance, whether it is a private organization or government, where we own the government, isn't it? What is government? It is we. So usually it gets linked to political system and government. And I'm not going to talk about politics because this is not the premises. Though it can be discussed in my views, but the dictionary meaning is what is governance is operating system. So you'll be seeing a lot of, whether you go to a government hospital or a college or a government department, you'll be seeing governance. You're supposed to see good governance. That's an adjective. So decisions, actions taken by the people in the helm of affairs. That's why I asked you a question. Were you a stakeholder in this program? What was your say in this program? I didn't hear anything. Governance goes with discipline, risks. So whoever has organized this program, the college management, they have taken certain disciplinary, decisions they have taken because they thought that these are the good things students should listen to, and they have taken some risk also, whether, and with some ethics they are doing. You go to any field in your life, you'll see all this. So we are supposed to talk here new media. It is nothing to only journalism students need not have to apply their mind if you are of that view. No, new media is every day you are consuming, whether it is website or social media platforms, YouTube, your Twitter, your WhatsApp, everything, you are checking. That's what doctor said, that somebody asked that question, internet addiction. So that is new media. This is the conventional. Is it something new? No, from 1980s we have new media. Social media comes under new media, okay? Journalism students will easily pick this. It is technology intervention, that's all. Earlier, were we not communicating? We were communicating. We were communicating more before, direct communication was there. Now we communicate through gadgets. What is citizen engagement? What is citizen engagement? Participation in governance. Yeah. So it is nothing but engaging public or citizens in issues concerned with public, often referred as civic engagement. Example, Election Commission does it. Now it has started already, why you should vote. Go and vote. That is engaging the citizens in a democratic process. So what is it a new concept, engaging public? Is Mysore City Corporation is engaging you people to say, give your ideas? To a certain extent. So I was reading yesterday, Central Cabinet has cleared 12 rope projects. Again, Chamundi Hills project has come back. Chamundi, Mysore people and outside Mysore also, people have rejected that project. They don't want. So why did it come again? So where is, that is civic engagement. Citizens have to again express. Today I didn't see in any of the Mysore papers people reacting. So is it a new concept? No. Even Athens, the history, if you go by the history, it says 2,500 years ago also, civic engagement was there. People were consulted. People's opinion were taken in governance. So in democracy, government engaging citizens in governance is very crucial. Without your knowledge, if some huge project comes up, in Bangalore we are seeing one in Sheshadrapuram, From last 10 or 12 years, one flyover is still being constructed. Nobody knows why it is stalled. And in my experience, I'll tell, I stay near Dairy Circle in Bangalore. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Bangalore. There is some convention center called MAHAN's Convention Center. A skywalk has been put up there, and there is an elevator installed. From last 3 years, I have been requesting the government to inaugurate that elevator, because there are a lot of senior citizens who are finding it difficult to climb the skywalk. And the local MLA says, I don't know who has put up this monster. I went to the former MLA and asked, why don't you at least take up the initiative to switch on the elevator? They say that skywalk can be used, why not people walk? And they are thinking from physically healthy person. People are not consulted in that area. People have no say in that project at all, and we don't know why that skywalk refuses to have an elevator. That is where civic engagement, that is one simple example I have given you, where we don't have say, or we may have a say. That's also there. So, from where the government derives power, it is from us. It is we who empower them. It is we who go and vote. So every program has to be citizen-centric, citizen welfare-centric, and those projects has to be sustainable. It is not that for 1 year I'll do this project and then get away. One more example I'll give. I don't know how many of you bothered to read, because it all affects all our life. It's not just Mysoreans. Mysore got a semiconductor huge project recently. The state cabinet cleared a project which is 24,000 crore semiconductor project Mysore is getting. A lot of employment will be generated naturally, hopefully. Hopefully Mysore will turn into another Taiwan. A lot of activities, economic activities you may see, but the company chose Mysore over Chennai for the project. The reason given was that we have crystal clear water here because it is water intensive projects. So any semiconductor project is highly water, it takes a lot of water. It is like your paddy crop or sugarcane crop. So do we have so much water in Kaveri Basin? Has anybody questioned? On the last day of the investors meet, this project was cleared. So is it not going to affect all of us? Where is the public opinion in governance then? This is what citizen engagement. Do Mysoreans have a say in this kind of projects? We have to think. It is not just media has to think, because everybody has a mobile phone now. Everybody expresses opinion on everything. Whether a heroine wears decent dress or not, whether a movie is a super success or not, whether a movie is promoting certain commercial angle or not, everything is being discussed about except our own life. If Mysore goes dry, even further, if it goes, Bangalore will not get, the moment I saw that story, I was in a way happy that Mysore migration, it may stop, but water is a huge thing in the city. So citizens should share in decision-making process. That is where, all of us have a stake. Whether you are an MBA student, law student, commerce, whatever, you need not be a journalist. You should be a responsible, a citizen. How citizen engagement should be? It should be democratic. And it should be transparent, whatever they do. Accountability. Coming back to that project, there could have been a town hall about that project. People could have been heard. And now the government is talking about organic farming. Karnataka's experience with organic farming, the concept is good. I don't know where the 300 crore went. We don't even have one village which is fully organic. Whereas Sikkim has, Kerala has. At least it has, proudly it can say that, we have gone organic. But Karnataka, what happened to that 300 crore? We don't know, we don't question it. Food is not everybody's subject. Don't think that only media has to, usually how they think is that media has to highlight or politicians have to debate. But what about citizens' role? That is called citizen engagement. So we need to be responsive, inclusivity, everybody should be included. At various multi-levels, this has to happen. So earlier we had a very vibrant panchayats, where every tank water was owned by people. Iga water source elli anta gottilla. I take a bottle, I drink. My problem is solved. But where does it come from? Unless we stop using tap water, we will never understand the root of the problem. Water is such a crucial, water wars aagta ide. Already Karnataka is engaged in water wars. So people should have say at international level to now we are having this G20 meetings and then we are talking about carbon and pollution, all these things, decision-making bodies. This helps the authorities to get feedback also. I don't think government is blind, they do a lot of welfare work they do. That is the biggest NGO sometimes I feel. But feedback should be there. And citizen participation and citizen engagement are different. There are two things. One is citizens drive themselves citizen participation. If there is a flyover coming, citizens will, in Bangalore it is more NRIs. They live in America for 6 months. In 6 months here they come and do hartal because they don't want road expansion, flyovers, nothing. What is the solution? They don't offer solution. They will compare it to Canada or some country. In Bangalore I had to leave, no? I need proper roads. There is always conflict of interest. So that is, they participate. Citizen engagement is different. Like election commission is what it does is citizen engagement, I need to have a dialogue with you. It is just not monologue. Okay, citizens drive themselves into citizen participation. Here, a formal process, initiated by government or department of administration. They ask for opinion, especially youngsters like you, you should express opinions. In citizen engagement, discussions take place. I can give one examples. And civic participation and health issues, that is very important. During COVID, we saw a lot of participation and discussion. On the later note, there was one student from Mangalore, medical college student. She tweeted during peak COVID period, that is phase 1, to the Prime Minister office, I'm missing noodles. She asked for noodles packet, it was organized. People use for their personal this one, but do we use these things for the good of society is what, that's where we need to engage. COVID management, we saw a dashboard and we got a lot of information. That's one positive thing we saw. And second thing is elections, we see a lot of high decibel citizen engagement we see. It is temporary. Citizens groups discuss elections, throw light on many issues. If there is corruption also, they make noise. How do they make noise? They use social media. Everybody can't go to government or newspaper offices or television, and they make somewhere sometime, if a student's requirement for noodle packet is met, I think water or road infrastructure can be heard, I think. Governments must have comprehensive communication strategy. Where does it stop, every department, even this institution or any educational institutions, they have communication wing these days. There'll be communication strategist or head, and especially hospitals have communication department. If you go to Narayana Hridayalaya, you have a huge one, huge, at least 25, 30 people sit. Communication, that is but do we communicate what should be communicated? That is the question, You be an MBA student, if you go for interviews, do you communicate what you are? That is where the language ability comes. That is where clarity in thoughts, your views, can you formalize it and present it in a proper way? This is where government problem is that they don't have sufficient trained staff. That is where most of the government departments have presence on Facebook, YouTube, but when you go to the links, you hardly get any information. You don't, even education department, it is like that, except notifications you don't see. So can we be very happy with only online? Can we be with only online engagement? Okay, you tweet, I read. You put some post on social media, I'll read. Do you think that is sufficient? That is just downloading, you just have information, you post it. Earlier we had the pamphlets culture, pamphlets. That has been digitized. That is it will limit to that. So both online and offline should be carried out. If there is no staff who are able to understand new media language, then it doesn't work. So one, I wanted to show if Vagdevi can, somebody log on to mygov.in in this. I'll show you because you are all students, how engaged you are with government, because we all criticize government. But there is a platform where you can express your views, you can engage in quiz, and you can write essays, and there are so many things you can do. But have you ever tried mygov.in? That was started in, I think, 14 or 16. Karnataka developed it. It has its own platform. From 22, it has 16 states in this country has its own websites. MyGov, you can go to that. So many states have. What is forget the politician there or prime minister, this one. This has this website, you please go through it. There are so many activities for citizens and students. Every week there is essay competition. Every week there is quiz competition. You can participate. And there is cash incentives also. How many of you, at least my students, they never bother to check. I've been telling them, how do you engage with government for governance then? How you can make somebody responsible for your tax payment you have done. You go to this MyGov Karnataka, launched in 22. It works crowdsourcing mode, It's your ideas can be expressed there. If you want to say that something, so we have one, if you access sometime, Janagraha, one website is there. Please go through it. It is citizenship and democracy. Encourage ward committees ward committees is, your area, small area where you can go and doing internship here will help all discipline students, I tell you. Forget journalism, all discipline, from any field. You can be in accountancy, you can be in any commerce or science, you learn a lot how system works, how systems work. And this is the first time we saw in Bangalore how civic matters public involvement. Across the state, in some states also, they have started working now. So can these kind of interaction work in a country like India? That is the question. How literate is internet literacy is? It is a fast moving, the country is moving at fast pace because of technology also. But see the internet penetration. Only 50% of the population is internet they are using. Social media they are accessing. It may touch 67% according to research. So India's internet penetration is 47%. So literacy of internet literacy is quite low still. So in this kind of situation, can only online thing work? For everything they say you go to Bangalore One Center or app use madbidi, ticket book madkonbidi, complaint lodge madbidi, ella helta irtare. Can that work? We need to think. During COVID, I faced a lot of senior citizens in our apartment block. They were finding it very difficult to manage because they couldn't pay property tax, so many people, because after a certain age, sometimes these fingers, that it doesn't cooperate for them to press the key buttons, they were finding it very difficult. So they didn't know where to go on, but everything is now we talk in terms of technology. So human interaction is becoming lesser and lesser, and everybody in a country like India where literacy is not 100%, where do you bring digital literacy? So let us ask ourselves, how active we are when it comes to using social media in engaging with the elected government. We usually, as I see, it is YouTube watching. I sincerely suggest all students, there will be one period of addiction watching YouTube. Somebody makes money every time you log in. What is that you get? Somebody dances, somebody sings, somebody do something, and they make money. At the end of the day, you are wasting your time, 8 hours, 10 hours. There is one case study in MAHAN's, one youngster, maybe he was 16 or 17. In the midnight, he walked along with his laptop to MAHAN saying that from 8 hours, I had not been able to switch off from YouTube. He couldn't log out. He realized that he is in a deep trouble, but that addiction is so much, we discussed earlier, addiction is so much that he could not come out. He walked into MAHAN's doctors saying that somehow help me to overcome this problem. And a lot of senior citizens are getting into this WhatsApp and YouTube culture. That is because human interaction is now less. Are we willing to participate or just download information available on various platforms? That is the thing. Do we download just, or do we express opinion on things that matters to us? It is not, that is where citizen engagement, citizen participation is important. Abusing someone, saying, pressing like, sitting in a toilet, somebody wears some new clothes, somebody party, just how does it improve your quality of life? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that will keep you entertained, but in my case, because I'm in media, I had to use a lot of platforms I use, but I use it. One day, I was just thinking how much financially it is benefiting me. Is I'm going to make any money by just seeing? No, I am making somebody else YouTube fellow richer, that's all. I'm not getting anything out of it. Somebody dances somewhere, somebody parties somewhere, somebody goes to some picnic. Is it educative for us? If somebody attends Oracle or Infosys interview, and if that person is going to talk to you, share his experience, watch that kind of things, that may help you, and do it yourself. All those things, YouTube, those kind of things you should, try to consume. And my sincere request is get engaged with the government. Don't just say that this is not done, this is not done, this is not done. Express your views. It takes a lot of time to convince officials or government, but definitely it will see if this country could change constitution through public movement. We saw what in Nirbhaya case, social media became the hero. There was no leadership for social media there. Everybody, citizens, collectively, they did wonders. How? And corruption. When it came to corruption, we were listening to 80-year-old man at that time. Nobody, there was no leadership for that. Whole country, social media was used for a good cause. So we could enact certain laws. Then you may ask as youngsters, so what? Did it make any impact? It is difficult to quantize the impact. But definitely today, if I am standing before you and talking about corruption, it is that kind of freedom we have derived. From where did we derive? It is because of so many factors. It's not just only because of the media. And get active in your demands, let it be aired, let you do. I mean, social media should be used even to discharge our, as citizen we have a lot of responsibilities. That also has to be. During COVID time, so much help came on social media. Youngsters like you people, whether they ate or not, they all collectively helped so many migrant laborers, so many, families. So it can be used. India has shown that, it can be used for good of society. So it is possible. And start checking government websites. See whether you can get engaged in some way so that, you can enrich your life. You can also help society also. People ask me, where is the time to do tweet? Sometimes I tell them, why don't you tweet this problem? It is very good. Why don't we draw the attention of the government? They say, no, we don't have time. Then why do you expect others to do your job then? If you don't have time, why do you expect? That's the thing. And then this is not directly related to this. You can switch off. Other day, doctor was telling that, be careful about food habits. Please, as far as possible, don't eat outside food. They use a lot of soda. Soda is the most harmful for body. If you can cut down as youngsters, if you can start appreciating your homemade food, nothing like that. Soda directly hits your kidney, your brain, and whatever organs, It is every food, rice, your chicken or your fish or name anything, they use a lot of colors and soda. So be watchful. It's very, very, it is going to cost us. Can we See, as youngsters, can we raise a debate in this country asking, why don't you ban soda in food? Can we bring pressure on government? Can we not use, that is the way we have to educate and draw the government attention. We have that potential, but it's a matter of time. Hopefully, let there be more discussions, debates. Maybe we will move towards that. Okay, that's all I have for now, because the next speaker.
How did you like Dr. Asha's session? Did you all identify with it? How many of you are carrying mobile phones today? Raise your hands. How many of you are not carrying mobile phones today? There's not a single hand. Okay, so let me ask, how many of you are on Instagram? Wow. Twitter? Not many, huh? YouTube? How many of you watch YouTube? So I'll come to a central question. I'm going to do a reality check now. Have any of you ever posted anything on your Instagram or Twitter or any of these accounts for anything other than your own pictures, your family, news, or somebody's getting married, somebody broke up, or anything like that? Have you ever done anything that Dr. Asha said? That's good. I'm happy. At least there are 5 hands coming up. So you think it's possible? Okay, how many think it's possible but you have not done it? How many think it's possible to do it?
Is it language ಭಾಷೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕೋದಕ್ಕೆ? ಈಗ ಟ್ವಿಟ್ಟರು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋರು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ವೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮತ್ತು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್. ಗುಡ್.
It's just that it's not interesting, it's not exciting to post about anything other than your own photographs. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲೈಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂತ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಲೈಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂತ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಎವ್ರಿ 2 minutes. ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಫೋಟೋಗೆ 10 ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ 20 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ she made such an interesting presentation. What I learned from that is while social media can be used for entertainment, for communicating with our near and dear people, because nowadays nobody writes letters or anything like that, it can also be such a powerful tool. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ, ಸುಷ್ಮಾ ಸ್ವರಾಜ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, when she was external affairs minister, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನನ ಅವ್ರು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಬಿನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡೆಡ್ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್, ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಮಗು ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಹರ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಶಿ ವಾಸ್ ಸೋ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಹರ್ ಟ್ವಿಟರ್. Adela, they would have read in the papers about how Sushma Swaraj. So I think the sooner we understand that social media is a double-sided coin. It can be used to harm others. It can be used. We can use it to help ourselves also. I hope this. How many of you have had fights on social media? Have any of you fought on social media? Please come up and would any of you like to speak for 1 minute about your experience with social media? And somebody? Who?
You would like to?
Yeah. Anyone would like to talk about how you use social media and what is your experience?
You asked about the example.
Yeah.
They have some.
Yeah, please, anyone? ಫೈಟ್ ಬೇಡ, ಹೌ ಯು ಯೂಸ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಸಾಕು. In fact, through her discussion, through her session, I saw everybody on their telephones. Ellarnu nodde. They were doing things on social media. You don't want to talk about it. Is there anything that you people discuss among one another which you would like to discuss with us? We are here and we are giving you voice. Citizen engagement chance sikide nimge. Ask her how to do it. She's been in journalism for ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನೋ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅವರು. She has probably forgotten more than we'll ever learn. So you should use her experience now.
ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ನನಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಫಾರ್ ಮೈ ಓನ್ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್, ಟ್ವಿಟ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಆರ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಎರಡೂ. ಐ ಫೀಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಐ ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಹರ್ಡ್ ಬಟ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಸತಿ ನಾನು ಆನೇಕಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಆಶ್ರಮ, ಐ ಕೀಪ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್. ದಟ್ ಆಶ್ರಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್, ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ತುಂಬ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಫುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಗಿವ್. ದಟ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಡೆಕ್ಕನ್ ಹೆರಲ್ಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಅವಾಗ. ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ವಿಟ್ ಡೆಕ್ಕನ್ ಹೆರಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಹಿ ವಾಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್. ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಟ್ ಟು ಫಿಗರ್ ಇಟ್ ಔಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೀಸ್ ಇನ್ 70s ಆರ್ ಮಿಡ್ 70s. ಏನು ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ, ಇನ್ನೂ ನಾನೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನು ಆಸೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಹಿ ಸೆಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರು. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ರಿಮೋಟ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್, ಬನ್ನೇರ್ಘಟ್ಟ ಹತ್ರ ಅದು, ಇಟ್ ನೆಸ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಥಿಕ್ ಜಂಗಲ್. ಸೊ ಒಂದು 3,000 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ದಿನ ಊಟ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಮೀಡಿಯಾನೂ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಹೀ ಈಸ್ ಡೆಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಯೂಸೇಜ್. ದೆನ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಇದೆ ಅವತ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಾಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್, ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಬೇಕು. ದೆನ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯೋ ಮಾಡು, ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ದೆನ್ ಐ ಪೋಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆನ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ವಿತ್ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ವಿತಿನ್ ಎ ಮಂತ್ 10,000 ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಬಂತು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಐ ಕುಡ್ ಐ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಾನು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಿಷನ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಮನೇಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರೂ. ದೆನ್ ಆ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿನ ತುಂಬ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಯಾರು ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಟು ಟ್ರೆಕ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಟ್ರೆಕ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬರ್ಡ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಐ ವೆಂಟ್, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ವೈಡು, ಕದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಏನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಅಂತ. ಏನು ಕದೀತಾರೆ ಅಂದರು, ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಕದೀತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಯಾತಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರು, ಪುಸ್ತಕ ತಾನೇ ಕದಿಯೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಆಸ್ತಿ ಏನು ಕದಿಯಲ್ಲ ಬಿಡು. ಬುಕ್ ಕದ್ರೆ ಖುಷಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿ, ಲೆಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಡೂ ದೇ ಡೂ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್, ತೂಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರ, ಹೋಗಲಿ ಬಿಡು, ಬಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ದ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ರನ್ ಅಂತ. ಇವತ್ತೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾನೇ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮದು ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮದೊಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೋ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಲೆಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿ ದಟ್ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾನ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಿಂಗ್ ವೆದರ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಫಾರ್ good of something anta. It yielded very good results for me.
I also have a small example to give. Iga namma mainstream media nalli there are some journalism students, they will understand. So the mainstream media normally has very little space for health issues. Health andre avaru ontara idu, they'll either look at it as exercise or good food or something like that, but there are health issues like TB, there is non-communicable diseases, adikella jaga kododilla. So I was passionately interested in writing on TB, but I would never get space in a paper, always rejection. Oh, idu namge readers ge hidsalladu idu. So I opened a blog of my own, Journalists Against TB anta, and I started blogging every day, collected a database and sent it. Every blog post I would send to that whole group. Believe me, in about a few years' time, I was well known as a person who's writing on TB, there was traction around that disease. And today, I'm not saying it's because of me, but today we have a movement in India called TB Mukt Bharat, because people like me did things like that. So that's the power of social media. If we want to do something, we want to use something well, it's possible. Sorry? I can't. No, mic is working. Echo idella adike. I'm holding it far.
It's my observation, madam. It's not opinion. As per my observation, in society, people have a scared to participate in the governance, because I have observed since I came from rural, even though people receive less quality of food, whatever government would like to give, they will not question, because they feel, and I ask why you are not going to question this, because they feel if they cancel this my ration card, what can I do in the next day? So they have a threat, like they have a political people's, local leaders threat that if I question them, I will lose my benefits, whatever I'm getting. The other thing is India is already known for fake account, Twitter account. Elon Musk is going to filter all those things because people don't have a guts to ask questions or questioning the government by creating their own account. So that they have created account from their other name and they're asking questions. So what is your opinion, ma'am? That's what I feel there is some scared in the people of country. They don't have a guts to ask questions as a first person.
ನನಗೆ ಗಟ್ಸ್ ಲ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಶುಡ್ ಐ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಗಟ್ಸ್ಗೇನು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವೇಜ್ ವಾರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರ್ ನೇಬರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಿನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಇದು ಗಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇನ್ ರೂರಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಲೈನ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಎ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ. Whereas in urban areas, I don't know, I can't even make out who is with which party alignment anta gottagala. In rural, that is the problem. Forget social media. Directly kelbodala. They demand during elections, I have seen when I go for election coverage, they demand so much money has to be given for voting. ಅಷ್ಟು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇದೆ. I don't, it is a lack of application of mind. ಯಾಕೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು? ವೈ? ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅದು if you keep the entire society's welfare in mind, you will ask. It's not that they don't. ಇದು ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್. ಐದರ್ ಯು ಬಿ ವಿತ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೈಟ್, ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್, ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನ್ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್, ನಾನು ವೈಲ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್, ಐ ಮೆಟ್ ಒನ್ ಲೇಡಿ ಜರ್ನಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅವಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು, ಟಿ ವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಒಪಿನಿಯನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇವಾಗ. ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Social media and all, recently, you're scrolling through Instagram and all, we always see these fundraising websites, and there is a separate organization who is working behind fundraising for cancer children and brain tumor, and showing some some kind of images. It is not visible friendly, like user friendly and all, and they're showing something and raising a fund. Is it really reaching the source, and is it really happening? I don't know, like we'll be sitting here and sending some money to the organization, and it is really going to the person who is really in need of. So I have a kind of doubt in this regard, ma'am.
Knowing the person or organization, I am not rich enough to keep donating money. So I never do that unless I am convinced that this person really in need of money, and if I can spare, I spare. Maybe that is the best way, without ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಪಾತ್ರರಿಗೆ ದಾನ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಅಪಾತ್ರ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಡಿಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್.
My question is somewhat related to what actually Prajwal was asking. What about this anonymous civic engagement? Since you were talking about civic engagement, there is a lot of anonymous civic engagements that are happening online. Once away, we would have also taken a survey saying, I want to support this cause, or I want whatever, that is one thing. And the second is, whether it is impactful or not is a question I think is still looming, and we have not yet have arrived at an answer, or the process is still on. Let me link it with Dr. Naeem's talk. What he was saying is that, books gives you that private space. Nobody cares, what you are reading. You read what you want and you're done with it. I think, in fact, the basic idea of internet is this private space. That is why OTTs are being very popular, because it is creating this private space for each individual who are there. My question, what I'm getting at is that, what about this online public sphere? Is it really providing genuine space? One. Why I mean genuine space in the sense, when you actually raise any comments or anything, your accounts are being frozen or pulled down, or there are instances like that. So is it being neutral in the sense we are talking about? Is this online being really neutral for us in the sense, I mean everybody, to have a really meaningful civic engagement that is being foreseen, or at least we believe it to happen. And the other one is, then wouldn't it just then become a PR tool? If quoting your own example of a Maggie that, of a noodles that happened, wouldn't it then be beautifully used as a PR tool? And looking at the penetration of internet in India, isn't it culling more disparities in itself? So there are too many threads.
I will answer. You want to take? See, too many questions I have forgotten. Whether we are going to be heard or not, whether we can study the impact. In case of Bangalore, I can say, save trees, save Sankey tank, offline and online both has to be integrated in India as of now. It is not just online thing which works, but it makes impact. It doesn't, how do we, see, if I say it doesn't make impact, what evidence I have to show that it has no evidence? So ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ it is like whether God is there or not ಅಂತ. God ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕೂ ನಾನೇ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, God ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕೂ ನಾನೇ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. It is like that. The impact study only research side ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂಡು we can do it. Otherwise it is very difficult, but social media or new media is here to stay. And you people all taught students. I taught 6 months one the students na NMKRV. I didn't even see students, but they scored very well. They could manage to so media is going to stay, this new media. Adana how best we are going to make use of it another, that is the I think Indians or in general people are smart enough to understand which is fake and which is not fake. And even while online purchase ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳು, ಪರ್ಲ್ಸು, ಏನೇನೋ ಎಲ್ಲ 10 ಸತಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಟೆಕ್ ಸ್ಯಾವಿ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋ ಹೆಂಗಸ್ರು ಬಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಕ್ಕ ಒಂದು 2 ಸತಿ ನೋಡಿ ಇದು ಸರಿಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. And what else, Vagdevi, you wanted one more question you had? It is a private space, internet has to be. Then how do we engage in any democracy? It has to be two-way communication, otherwise it becomes monologue. You yaro nan baritini, you will read, you may have a strong opinion against it. You don't even express anta helidre, I presume and I think I am the king or I am the queen. Anna Hazare ಕೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗಾಗಲ್ಲ. You have a very good example. Even Arab Spring ಕೇಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ. Arab Spring
there are standalone cases.
Standalone ಅಲ್ಲ, there are many, especially BBMP we have now, the commissioner almost every day there, they may not be able to take immediately action. Do you think, let us assume ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು 200 ಜನ ಇದ್ದೀವಾ? If we start tweeting everybody today, we decide that, let there be public say in Chamundi Hills rope project or Nandi Hills. Why do we go to hill stations or any trekking hogodakke hogodu? Adike rope way hakbekanta nange artha agalla. So can we start a movement like that? It will have impact. It will have impact very easily. But only thing is that collectively ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಾ ಅಂತ. That is collectively.
One example I can put it across is related to Whitefield Rising in that Mahadevpura region. So you guys know it or not, I don't know. Like we started with nearly 25,000 people movement, and we have the ward committee. Every month we meet And every quarterly, we go and give a demand. And Arvind Limbodi always will have the trouble every quarterly. Because the people go and ask for, like, actually, this is what exactly you have assured in the last quarter. This is not happened. So it's all about the civic movement and all about the involvement, how well we get connected and how well we have been questioning, that definitely is going to get answered.
Another question, ma'am. From first
Last question, because we're almost out. He has
last for 10 years actually. So the research saying that so many social media activist account has been cancelled because they have commenting against government. So when we start, when power is more in the society, we start fight against the government and more power. If we are not able to continue with our comment and all, what is the reason of civil engagement in the governance and all?
How many total Twitter accounts, how many Facebook, adolge ಎಷ್ಟು cancel ಆಗಿದೆ minuscule minority ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. So the majority is still having say, no? One or two examples, we should not come to conclusion that no, what he said, Whitefield Rising, it is day out, day in, they show the lapses on the part of the BBMP. And it has not been suspended. A powerful government can do it, but they don't. Even I tweet politically highly oriented idu martini nanu, but I don't have never faced any problem. But when I have vengeance against somebody, that is where the problem comes anta nange ankolodi. I use language which is very abusive. I have seen one journalist, I don't want to name the paper, she was packed off from the newsroom by the police because the Prime Minister of this country was abused to such an extent she could not defend also. ಆ ಥರದ್ದಾದಾಗ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟ್ವಿಟರ್, minuscule minority.
Also, as a final thing, I think we need to always, at all times, respect the system, work within the system. The minute you try to disrupt a system, then I don't think it will work. There is a system which is maybe not working at optimum. Try and get that to optimum rather than trash it. So we have to find ways to work within that system. Thank you. We'd like to close this session and go on to the next session.
Hi all. Good evening. So we already discussed about what I call well-being, or how exactly we can keep our mental health or ourselves well in terms of our own well-being. The second one, like actually ma'am has been talked about new media, how exactly we can create a space and we can play a different role for our own sustainability. So now, I would like to talk in terms of farming as an agriculturist and sustainability. In the farming, how exactly I can bring sustainability into picture with using this tool. So that is what exactly I just would like to connect back. So just to give you a small introduction in terms of like what exactly we have been involved. So we have a 12 acres of land, and we are doing natural farming, chemical-free farming in Hunsur, which is just 48 kilometers from here. And what is our thought process is, we don't want to bring anything from outside. Whatever is available in that particular facility or in that particular land, and whatever is available in that particular village, utilizing that, can we do the natural farming? So we are doing 12 acres of land with 2 laborers, and with the, people call me mad also, some people, because some of the concept or some of the things we bring it and try to test it and try to see is it feasible or not. So with that intention, like actually we started a natural farming. In the natural farming, we are completely seeing what is available, as I said, and in terms of the pest control also, we will go and talk about it when exactly we are talking about organic farming. So with that, what exactly sustainability? We are talking about a farming one side, another side is a sustainability. Sustainability is, based on my understanding, for sustain yourself, utilize the resources, use the resources, don't misuse the resources, use it, don't misuse it, and keep it something for your next generation. So that is what exactly sustainability is all about, based on my understanding when exactly farming come into picture. So with that particular note, what we started looking at is what is organic farming? Why exactly organic farming is required? And what is the need of it? By understanding that, can we connect the dots about the sustainability? So organic farming is nothing but you use anything, biofertilizer or biochemical, which is not with the chemical involvement, the factory-made chemical involvement, or like whatever is available in that particular vicinity. So by using that, can we make organic farming? What is the need of that? Need is, can we save our soil? Can we save our water? Can we save our resources? By saving this, can we create a sustainability for future? As I think ma'am or someone has been talking about in terms of the water. If water can be saved earlier, so we are not going to be fighting for the water between the states, correct? In the same way, like actually the sustainability may come into picture, it may be as an individual existence or the community living as well. So with that particular note, if you look at it, and also as I said, like actually we have been following the natural farming. We have some 4 different methods. If someone has been interested, we can talk more on that. But with the 4 different methods, whatever is available there, like actually we just convert into pest control, we convert into fertilizer, we convert into sprayers. All these things we do. And ultimately, we are keeping one thing as a principle in organic farming. What is the principle? So nowadays, like actually in terms of the name called as organic, it called as expensive. Is it really true? Is organic product is always expensive? We follow method called as zero budget natural farming. I don't want to spend anything on my cultivation. Can I create sustainable production? Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not possible. So we were debating also, like actually, is it really sustainable organic farming? It is not sustainable. If it is not sustainable, what exactly we need to do? We need to look at along with the organic farming, the sustainable agriculture model as well. What is sustainable agriculture model? Sustainable agriculture model is always, you have lot of peripheral agriculture activities, which is like maybe animal husbandry, which is value addition, which may be agri-tourism. There are multiple dimensions of agriculture. So is there any way like actually you can involve in a secondary agriculture income, can we make it sustainable? That is also like I just wanted to put across. So if we look at the impact, why exactly we required organic farming, what is the impact? The impact is there in terms of the economy. The economy impact also we will be having it. In terms of our lifestyle, it is in terms of how exactly we are well-being in our society, or like our standard of living. By improving our standard of living, agriculture, organic producers or the chemical-free producers having a demand in the market. In our COVID situation also, everyone is searching for chemical-free produce as well. Reason is that everyone understands the value of life. So with that particular note, like the organic farming or the chemical-free farming is a like integrated system between all the economic or the ecological or your social networking or the social impact. So in terms of the social, if you look at it, we can generate a rural employment, rural development, or whatever we have been growing, like actually we can create a mini market also in that particular vicinity. So that's why I would like to say, wherever the organic farming or the chemical farming activities are happening, as a student of that particular domain or as a sincere citizen, I would like to tell you that please try to understand the activities, what exactly they are doing. If they are doing accurately, otherwise they are doing, if they require any support, just stand for it, which will help both the way. It will help for giving a good food for you, otherwise actually good food for a community as well. So when we connect agriculture, the organic farming into agriculture sustainability, I just would like to put it across a couple of activities we have been involved from our end. How exactly that is connecting with the agriculture sustainability, that is what exactly I wanted to talk about. The first and foremost is, as I said, natural farming. We have been doing a natural farming with the 40 different varieties of fruits, and we are selling everything in Bangalore. Because in Bangalore, I have 400 customers, and that 400 customer understand what exactly we have been involved in the entire lifestyle. And also even majority of them have been visited my place. They have the trustability, traceability. So that is the easy way actually can create a sustainable. That means reaching out to the direct customer rather than giving to the middleman is going to be the best way to happen in the natural farming way. Otherwise, direct reaching to the customer. Next, second one is the market creation. Market creation, what we have been done is, you guys may be seeing the vehicle, actually we have created a retail store on the wheel kind of a concept. We go to the community and reach to the customer directly. And also we have a 38 to 40 different farmers. With the farmers, especially who is having a farmland near to the city in Bangalore or Mysore, especially we have been focused more in Bangalore, we conduct a plucking event. So plucking event is nothing but actually we have a mango and farmer is unable to pluck the mango and give it to the customer. We tell customer that instead of going to the mall or somewhere else, please come to farm and pluck your own mangoes. And the farmer is sitting there actually weighing it. And along with that, we cross-sell all our product, which is value-added products as well. That way, we are creating a sustainability between that. The third one is about the community base. Actually, some of the matured community, they call us to sell our produce. The fourth one is the malls. So in Whitefield, actually, we have a mall called as Forum Neighborhood Mall. So with the help of Whitefield Rising, as I was talking about earlier, so I've taken a support from Whitefield Rising. I went and asked mall people, your name, the name of the mall is Whitefield, the Forum Neighborhood Mall. What are you doing for a neighborhood? So then actually we have requested a space and we run the farmers market for nearly 3 years before COVID. So it was started with 15 customers, actually we had a 550 customer, and it was helping for at least 45 farmers whom we have been giving the opportunity rotational basis. So we are participating in multiple events. Even one of the event is there in upcoming week only, which is a roots and tuber event in Nanjabadu Chowtri in Mysore itself, where exactly this organic farmer community, otherwise many other people are going to display the root or any other products which is value add, otherwise grown, which will be there and which is the opportunity. Why am I explaining this all the things? See, this market creation is not anyone's responsibility. So if every one of us, if we wanted to assume that actually organic food be costlier, it is because of it is going with the different ants. Instead of that, actually can we cut down? How exactly we can cut down? Can you guys take an initiative? Saying that actually I will set up a market somewhere and create an awareness. Your neighborhood farmers, bring them along and give them an opportunity. So that way, actually create a win-win situation. So it is not that actually I just wanted to show what all the things we have done. I just wanted to give you the idea that actually there are a lot of opportunity where exactly as a young generation, you guys can play a major role in creating a healthy community. That is only the objective here. So in terms of banana, so banana is my core product. Reason is that in out of like actually our 12 acres of land, we grow nearly 9,000 plants of banana. That is my major scope. But when why exactly this all the processing activity has come into my mind is, during the COVID scenario, I had one strong feeling that whatever I grow, I sell it to directly to the customer. I fix my MRP, I fix my price, and give it to the customer. But in the COVID scenario, we normally like actually used to sell Nanjangud Rasabale at 68 rupees in Bangalore market, and a couple of in Mysore as well. So, but in a COVID scenario, I got only 16 rupees. That is where exactly I thought, like, why can't we have a value-added opportunity? So that is where exactly, like, actually we have value addition in agriculture or farming is also one of the sustainable option. If you look at the opportunity there is, in a green banana also we can do multiple products. In the ripe banana also we can do the multiple products. And along with that, I was explaining someone earlier related to banana stem. You guys know about it or not, I don't know. When exactly you cut down the banana stem, whatever it is there, that is a complete waste. As a farmer, that entire banana stem to mix with the soil, like actually mulching with the soil, we spend minimum of 16,000 rupees per acre. 1 acre of the land, like actually we spend 16,000 rupees. So what we have been done? So if you look at the banana entire stem, the inside part, the white part, whatever it is there, that is that one is a food product. After that particular, the white part, whatever the above is there, the center part is called as center core, and afterwards it's called as banana fiber, and third part is called as your silt. The center core, which is the food part, you believe it or not, I don't know, it is a, for a kidney stone and all, like actually it is a good medicine. And what we do is we just cut and give it in the Bangalore market. It is called as ready to cut vegetable as a banana stem. So the many households, especially the city people, they are not using banana stem just because of you are unable to pull out that thread from the banana stem. So we cut and give it, otherwise we put it in the jaggery and we get that and a candy. And you can also use it as a pickle, you can also use it as a stem juice. These are the many other opportunity what we have in the banana stem itself. When exactly it comes to your banana fiber can be used as a used in the textile industry, used in the aerospace industry. It is having very good strength. So it has a huge demand also. It's a natural fiber. And people have been making pads and insulation pads and many other stuffs as well with that. And with that particular note and the silt, you can convert into vermicompost. So why exactly I'm explaining all this is, if you take one particular product itself, you can, with the waste itself, you can do the multiple product. By doing the multiple product, we can definitely create a sustainability. So without that, like actually if we say, I'm growing 3 tons of banana, like actually I made only 50,000 rupees, that does not make sense for anyone, okay? And I just wanted to touch upon PMFME scheme, Pradhana Mantri Formalization of Micro Enterprises. If someone, intentionally I have been put these slides, reason is that I want everyone to aware of this particular, scheme, which is if someone wanted to be an agri-entrepreneur, so they can go under this particular scheme and they can get a 50% subsidy out of this. And for Mysore, like actually you can consult us also. We can help you out with all the proceedings. And in terms of the role of the government, we had multiple coordination as we discussed earlier also. So we have been participated in many of Global Investor Meet, AHAR exhibition and all. So all these things has been happened with the government only. Like we should know about where exactly the route, how exactly we need to capture it, and how do we need to discuss with multiple people. And in terms of the food technology, there are multiple technology institutions. If we wanted to get involved in the food processing, So there is a opportunity. We can get involved in the CFTRI or NRCB. We can take more technology transfer and do the processing activities. So this is just a 1 minute I would like to take in terms of Mysore Raitodyami Pratishtana, which we have been created from our side, like in terms of whatever we learned and whatever our friends have been learned. We started sharing whatever we learned, and that way the many other farmers, like whenever we have been conducting a session, there are nearly as media, the new media. In a Facebook, we used to have a 8,000 to 9,000 viewers. When we have been launching the training program, we run it for nearly 25 program. We run it for 6 months. It went well. Now we have been selected 8 people from that group only has been handholding them. So so as a community supportive agriculture model, like actually we have been combining all the people together, whoever is doing the best in that particular process, and creating one brand and one way of doing it. And our ultimate objective is creating a FPO, farmer producer company, with this particular activity. So that is specifically what exactly I had from my end. So if there is any question, you guys can definitely ask. So finally, I just would like to thank the organizing committee for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm told that there is no time for questions because the next session is due to start. But I'd like to sum up today's all the sessions that these 3 speakers gave to you. I think we were wondering where is the commonality between the 3 speakers, and after they've all spoken, I think very confidently I can say it is sustainability. We have a sustainable lifestyle if we live well. Like Dr. Nayeem said, you live physically, mentally healthy lives, you're sustainable. And like Dr. Asha spoke about internet usage. So if you use it well, you can use it, it won't create bad negative impact. You can also engage with it in order to better our world, make it more sustainable, whether it's saving water or improving traffic or building better bridges, whatever it is. And of course, when you eat good food and don't harm the earth, then we're all over sustainable and responsible as well. With our next generations, we'll be happy that we were responsible people. So sustainability came out very clearly, and thank you for that to all the speakers. Thank you. Thank you for having us over, and we have enjoyed our time.
I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our panelists. Thank you for broadening our horizons with your stimulating, relevant, and thought-provoking insights on wellness, civic engagement, and organic farming. Thank you. I request you all to kindly accept a memento as a token of our appreciation. To recharge our batteries, hot tea has been arranged for everyone on the left-hand side corner of the corridor at the indoor stadium. We will begin with the paper presentations at 4:15. After the tea break, I request all the paper presenters to move to their respective rooms. Offline presentations will be held in the PG block, room numbers 18, 28, 37,